Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is yet again the bank failures of 2023 are not over. Oh, nay, nay. Looks like we have our first bank failure of the year. And it's Republic First Bank that has failed and have been taken over by the regulators. This is the fourth bank failure since last March. And folks, this is just the start. They love to do this on a Friday or over the weekend. Late Friday, markets closed. Okay. Nothing you can do about it. And they dropped the hammer. Wow. Okay. The FDIC seized the troubled Philadelphia Bank, Republic First Bank Corp, and struck an agreement for the lender's deposits and the majority of its assets to be bought by Fulton Bank, Fulton. And Republic Bank had about $6 billion of assets and $4 billion of deposits at the end of January. And that's according to the FDIC. And the FDIC estimated that the failure will cost the Deposit Insurance Fund about $667 million. It's a lot of coin. So the Wall Street Journal, they reported that Republic First had 4 months. They struggled to stay afloat. And around half of its deposits were uninsured at the end of 2023. That's scary. Its total equity or assets minus liabilities was $96 million at the end of 2023, and that excluded $262 million of unrealized losses. How do you unrealize $262 million of losses? How do you just, I don't see that. Yeah, I didn't realize. How do you, okay. So, and it was on bonds that it labeled held to maturity, which means the losses hadn't counted on its balance sheet at stock, which was delisted from NASDAQ in August, had been near zero, nil, garbage. And Republic's Bank, 32 branches across New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York will reopen its branches of Fulton Bank. Yeah, apparently on Saturday. So depositors of Republic Bank will become depositors of Williamsport, Pennsylvania Bank, Fulton Bank. And you should not be surprised at all by any means, given that rates are higher now than they were at the start of the crises, which means unless banks have hedged hard or dumped their bonds at a loss, they are even more underwater. And add this to the fact that last week, seasonally adjusted for tax season, right on time, U.S. banks saw the largest deposit outflows since 9/11. Yes, that 9/11. So last month, trading of Long Island lender New York Community Bank Corp halted on the New York Stock Exchange after its shares tumbled more than 40%, and the regional bank announced a $1 billion capital raise later that day. $1 billion, that's a lot of flip-flopping money. So this is what CNN had to say about this situation. They said that the FDIC on Friday said that First Republic Bank had been closed by Pennsylvania state regulators in what the FDIC said was the first U.S. bank failure this year. Pennsylvania-based Republic First Bank, doing business as Republic Bank, was closed today by the Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities, which appointed the FDIC as receiver. To protect depositors, the FDIC entered into agreement with Fulton Bank, National Association of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to assume substantially all of the deposits and purchase substantially all of the assets of Republic Bank. The bank had about $6 billion in total assets, $4 billion in total deposits at the end of January. That makes Republic Bank far smaller than the regional bank failures that rocked the financial world last year. Silicon Valley Bank, for example, had $209 billion at the end of 2022. It collapsed in March of 2023. So the FDIC said that the former bank's 32 branches in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York will reopen as branches of Fulton Bank on Saturday for branches with normal Saturday hours or on Monday during normal business hours. Those who have deposits at Republic Bank will become depositors at Fulton Bank, and the agency's deposit insurance covers up to $250,000 per depositor. And then this is the full press release from the FDIC that they closed, which appointed the FDIC as receiver to protect depositors. The FDIC entered into an agreement with Fulton Bank. Why can't they go with the bigger banks? What is it with these small little tiny banks? National Association of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, to assume substantially all deposits and purchase substantially all the assets of Republic Bank. Okay, they're pretty much saying the same darn thing. Checks drawn on Republic Bank will continue to be processed, and loan customers should continue to make their payments as usual. Okay. Depositors of Republic Bank will become depositors of Fulton Bank, so customers do not need to change their banking relationship in order to retain their deposit insurance coverage. Customers of Republic Bank should continue to use their existing branches until they receive notice from Fulton Bank that it has completed system changes that will allow its branch offices to complete their accounts as well. So it seems like the banking crisis is back. And now the question is, who's next? What bank is next? And now it seems like we have very little time left. And these things usually go in waves. And I expect that this will only be the start of the new wave that's about to hit. And don't forget about the New York Community Bank as well. It recently dropped under $3. And it appears it will ultimately fail despite the massive bailouts it recently received. So watch that bank closely, okay? I mean, it could be as high as 100 bank failures in this next go round. So just be careful, okay? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.